Is the Fed going to raise rates or are they going to lower rates? Well, we're going to go over probabilities today, as well as UWM, one of the largest mortgage lenders out there today. What do they say about the market and what the future is next? Those articles and Freddie Mac. What did Freddie Mac do to down payment assistance? A big yawner. All next on Real Estate Daily. Welcome, everyone. My name is Troy, and every day we go over the latest news in real estate, housing, and the mortgage markets. Now, before we jump into it, do me a favor, hit that like button. Really want to get this channel up. I'm going to give you the best 5 or 10 minutes a day in real estate. Now, I know it's a hot topic out there. We all talk about it all the time. What do we do in housing? Now, we get so many different views out there. Some people say, hey, we should be, sitting on the sidelines waiting for rates to go down. Others saying, hey, when rates are high, less sales, better time, no competition, then I can always refi. Well, UWM, United Wholesale Mortgage, one of the largest mortgage lenders in the United States, you see that their stock is up today, 2.3%. This is what he says. And this is UWM CEO Matt Ishbia, and he says, housing market creating good time to buy despite higher rates. And I've been saying this for a while. When rates go down, I don't have to tell people it's a good time to buy. They're all going to be flooding in. It doesn't matter. The problem is that it creates multiple offers, and now we're pushing the market higher. When rates are high, you start scaring people out of the market. So there's very few people in the market. And those people that are dedicated are out there buying homes. And then they're sitting on the sidelines waiting for rates to fall. And they can refi down the road so they get the best of both worlds. They get a house that they don't have to compete with, and then they get the better rates. Now, I know everyone's saying, Troy, when is that going to happen? When is rates going down? Well, let's jump into the next article, Kobesi letter, and guys, give them a follow. I mean, this is one of the best news sources that you can get out there, media. It's all about numbers. It's not about opinion, and it's not about narratives. Well, it says, this is incredible. This is a post that today happened. It says, markets are beginning to price in a chance of rate hikes all the way until December 2024. Now, there is a 49% chance of a rate hike in January 2024. So let's go look at their chart here. This is total probables. This is when the Fed meets on this side right here. These are days of the meeting, okay? So we're 15 days out. This is the chance of them easing or lowering rates. This is the chance of just staying where we're at, no change. And these are chance of raising rates. Now, take a look at this chart. Very, very interesting. So November 11th, which we're about 2 weeks away, there's an 88% chance at this moment, because there's been no other financial information. CPI is already behind us. PPI is behind us, that we're going to stay the exact same course. But look how interesting this is. In December, when Christmas is here, between Christmas and Thanksgiving, well, are we thankful for the Fed? Hell no. Are they going to give us a Christmas present? Hell no. But what they want to do, and this is the probability, is there's 43% that they're going to raise rates and hike them again. 57%, which is still overwhelming, right? Or still, the majority, we're going to actually have no change. And again, easing is zero. If we go back into January 31st, we're seeing this zero again. Now it's about even. So we're looking at possible 2 rate hikes, one in December, one in January. And then we start seeing the numbers kind of flip here. In March 20th, we're flipping it to 41%, still very high risk amount that we can go up. But 50% is no change, and there's 10% that we can start easing. But things start to change. So when you're out there saying, hey, Troy, if I buy my home today, can I make the payment? What's going on? Well, here shows you that what the probabilities are is somewhere next year, and we see how everything flips right here in June 12th. 45% says it's going to ease, 35% no change, and 20% or 19% no rate hike. And then it really then gets into hyper easing here. 63%, 76, 83, and 90. We're just looking at this number continually going down on the rate hikes. Now, this is obviously they're not pricing in black swan events that would absolutely make the Fed switch gears and go right into easing, or it's not putting into effect that if we continue to see inflation really jump up, we could see rate hike percentages go up as well. But if I were to look at this, I'm pretty sure that somewhere in June or July or even September, we're going to see a rate reduction. Now, they're not giving probabilities on how much it's going down, but there's a chance that we start seeing it go down on a Fed meeting by Fed meeting basis from, let's call it August, June, July, September, October, November, that we can be going, have at least a quarter of a basis point go down every single Fed meeting, which would make it a point, which then that reversal would absolutely help the interest rates. Now, of course, what also will help the interest rates that is not put in here is simply the Fed buying mortgage-backed securities, which they stopped buying them. And that's part of the reason why we're typically seeing the spread so large. Typically the spread, if you look at the bond market, and the 10-year bond today is 4.86. Wow, that's a crazy number. But typically it's 150 basis points above that. So it would be somewhere in the sixes. But why are we in the eights today? Why are we about at 1.5%? Well, people are scared. They're knowing that they don't know where to sell these loans at. Before, they would just sell them mortgage-backed securities back to the Fed, and the Fed would buy these. And so it was a safe haven. I was for sure going to sell it to them, and they were going to hold them, package them, do whatever. And so that's why rates stayed low. Well, today they stopped buying mortgage-backed securities. And with that being said, that's where the spread doubles. And that's why we're seeing 8%, because they're not wanting to buy mortgage-backed securities. Now, should they be buying mortgage-backed securities? Well, are they banking on the citizens of the United States, or are they banking on foreigners? That's what you got to put yourself into. That's what you got to think about in the next election. All right. Next article. Freddie Mac launches a new down payment assistance tool. Big people talking about this. DPA 1. Now, what happens is there's multiple DPA or down payment assistance programs that are out there. And so what Freddie Mac has done is they've put software together, and they're looking at what your credit is, what your client profile is, and they're saying, okay, he makes this much money, he has this much in the bank, and we're going to go look at down payment assistance programs, typically a 2 or 3 or 4 down payment assistance programs, and we're going to see what one that's best for them. We know that the path to home ownership, the number one obstacle is going to be the down payment. And that's what their mindsets are. Number 2 is credit. Okay, down payment and credit. And with that being said, if they can come up with a down payment assistance program that best suits them, and they've had their credit up and everything else is fine, well, this tool immediately allows that there's less error for lenders, or less discrimination, or less ignorance from lenders, period, that this will get them into the best DPA program possible. So I kind of like what Freddie Mac is doing here. They're launching it. Now, a lot of these banks and lenders have to acknowledge it and accept it. Some of them don't do any business with Freddie Mac. They do with Fannie Mae. So I'm hoping Fannie Mae comes out with something like this pretty soon as well. All right, let's jump in the race, guys. Hey, if you haven't done it so far, hit that subscribe button. I really would appreciate it. We're looking at the race today. It went up about 5 basis points for conforming conventional loans, went up about 2.5 on FHA. Those two are not good numbers, to be very frank with you. But jumbo went down, and it has not fallen below the conforming. And until we have it below conventional, it's still sitting up there. And in certain areas, higher end areas where homes are not selling, a lot of it has to do with because the interest rates are so high, and everyone's kind of just sitting on the sidelines looking for a better deal. So people that have money, that have a lot of equity, are more susceptible to lowering their prices faster than people that are entry level or mid level, because they know that they can still get it. Their affordability is so much greater than it is at $1 million plus. All right, guys. Well, thank you very much for joining me today. I really appreciate it. If you have any comments, please leave them below. Otherwise, I will see you tomorrow on Wednesday. Guys, take care. Hasta